All right, we're back from the dead, back from the packs. I'm currently waiting in line for this Rising Stars pack, whatever it's called. This video will come out after that quick pack opening, which will probably be released yesterday. If you're watching this Tuesday, on Monday, a little math equation for you. Not going to keep you too long in the intro. We're going to hit the intro and then we'll talk about why the market is absolutely finessing our bank accounts right now. All right, so it's no secret that Top Shot blew up late January, early February. Everybody started funneling in. They started buying Chris Paul's at $900. Shout out you, Nile. Then their bank account goes absolutely red. People thought they were running hot. Now everything is down in the dumps. And in my opinion, a big reason for that is the marketplace being down. Now, Walsh, I know you've been on the market trying to gather funds for these type of packs. Have you had any sort of luck buying moments, selling moments, delisting, listing moments at all?
I gotta be honest, man. I'm down bad right now. I just missed out on the pack. The market's fucked. I can't list anything because every single time I go onto the market, it's down, and all my moments are tanking right now. Shout out Nile.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's kind of been shitty lately, but I'm hoping there's an upswing this week, maybe with the
Now,
all.
rumor actually has it that they call you the Mark Reynolds of Top Shot because all you do is strike out on packs, and they've been calling me the Ichiro Suzuki because I'm batting 1,000. It's real tough out here. I mean, I've been lucky enough to help manage other people's accounts, and they get packs, so then they let me open them, and I don't really reap the rewards other than putting on YouTube, which is tough. But it's hard when there's 400,000 people in line for packs, and we thought with these All Star packs that there was gonna be like 210,000 of them. We thought there were 200,000 accounts. Then these bots started flying out of the sky and buying up moments just so they can afford these packs. But then they shut down the market so people couldn't get these Rising Stars packs. And I actually think that's a good thing. Now, do you think these qualifications that you have to have a moment in your collection to be able to qualify for a pack, do you think that's something that's good going forward? Because in my opinion, I think that kind of incentivizes people to use the platform as something other than a quick money, quick flip, turnaround, cash grab. Just sign up for an account real quick, buy a pack, flip it for 10x, and then go on your merry way and wait for the next pack drop.
Yeah, I think 100%. I think there's a lot of people out there too with like a lot of just ghost accounts that they just try to get packs from and then gift over to their main accounts as well. So I think it helps prevent against that. Yeah, I think it's probably the right move on NBA Top Shot's part, just preventing like bots and all these people just trying to make a quick buck off packs to prevent that in the long run and really make it for people that like enjoy using the platform and as well as like want to collect cards long term, and whether that's investments or just for personal use. I think it's a good thing
Yeah, and the
regardless.
fact that they actually took down the gifting feature for this Rising Stars pack lets me know that they're kind of on top of their shit. They know that people are doing this third party transaction type of stuff where, well, I guess in this instance, it's more so like if you have 5 accounts and 4 of them are just bot accounts that are empty, somebody could have just gifted one account to those other 4 accounts and then be eligible on all 5. But it's still in beta. And I think in the long run, there will be less issues with the market, not only because the servers will be better, but because they'll also crack down on these people with multiple accounts. They can probably like run your IP address, whatever that means. Cause I'm not like super into tech. I don't know the qualifications or the whatever they do to find that out. Or I know they've looked at credit cards and see if they have credit cards and multiple accounts. Now that one kind of doesn't make sense because like what if you're a parent and you just give your kid a credit card to go into their account and you have like 2 kids and they have 2 accounts? Are they going to ban both of them because they're using your credit card? So I think that'll be a little bit tougher to do. But I think in the long run, they're not going to have to put down the market this often to be able to stop these bot accounts, which, the market is a big reason for the influx and the recession in prices, I guess. I mean, we always talk about Series 1 guys are what you want to invest in. And if you invest in Series 2, wait for them to jump in price and reinvest in Series 1 because they have this long term value. But we've seen the values absolutely tank. Like guys like Joe Harris, I bought it like $30 a month ago. He went up to 200. I'm like, I'm not going to sell. He's going to keep going up. He's down to what, 120, 130. It's real rough. Like you said, we're down bad. We had invested a lot into guys like Tobias Harris and Drew Holiday, who should probably be more than what they're going for right now. But the whole market is in shambles because people can't list. And then when they finally can list, guess what they do? They run to the market, they undercut because they need funds to invest in these packs. Not everybody just has $200 lying around in their bank account because they probably already put that into Top Shot. So they want to list their CJ McCollums like me, or they want to list their Drew Holidays and Tobias Harris's. And when they were $250, they're like, okay, I need my money quick, put it at 220. Somebody sees it at 220, you go down 205, 200, 195, and it keeps undercutting over and over and over again. But what I will say, and we said it last week and it didn't really work, but I think the market is about to be in a good spot. Have you ever seen it this hectic with this many pack drops, this many times the market went down, this many events happening in real life between the All-Star game and then just all the packs? Have you ever seen the market just be in shambles this badly?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been like this crazy in terms of how many people are going for packs and how many new users are joining the platform. Yeah, I think it's a good thing for the marketplace because I think more users obviously leads to more people selling, but also more buyers at the same time, more people checking out Top Shot moments for the first time and, getting interested in things like the Seeing Stars series. So I think it's a good thing for the market, at least short term, but we'll see how it plays out long term, I guess. But
Yeah, and we had talked about how the Run It Back promo is going to be implemented again, and they had the three headliners of Tracy McGrady, AI, and Shaq. Now it's probably going to be washed up versions of them because it's sometime between I think 2005 and 2010, and AI was in his prime, early 2000s. Shaq was late 90s, early 2000s, and T Mac's back was already fucked by '05. So it's going to be not the moments you want, kind of like how the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and these other moments from the first Run It Back were them on the Nets, which nobody really remembers them for being on the Nets, other than the fact that the Celtics were able to get good picks off of them. But I do think that will help the market a little bit because it will be a big drop. I wouldn't be surprised if that pack is upwards of like $2,000 just because if a Shaq is on the market, he's going to go for 10 grand easily, probably 20 to 30 if I were to guess. I think that will help because not many people will be able to afford that. A lot of people will be priced out. Now, people may sell their entire portfolio to be able to afford it to make that quick flip. But at the same time, the new adopters, if they do have five accounts, and they hit on all five, are they really going to drop like 5 to 10 grand depending on how much the packs are worth? I don't really know. All I know is I think the implementation of sets, at least like the Kevin Durant set, is out right now for the All Stars, and they're saying that the LeBron set won't be released until either after or right before the Kevin Durant set is expired, which leads me to believe for LeBron, you're probably going to need the Kevin Durant, all the pieces for the Kevin Durant, and then all the pieces on the LeBron team, which we saw with the Cool Cats promo. Once you need all these different assets to be able to put in a set, prices start to skyrocket. And right off the jump, people are greatly undervaluing it. That's why I'm personally holding on to whoever I got out of my pack. I got a Steph Curry in my pack, and he's like $700 right now, but I'm going to hold because he's Team LeBron, and LeBron's set isn't even out yet. On top of the fact that he is Stephen Curry. And I think you got Paul George, right?
yeah, Paul George.
And he's Team Kevin Durant, I think.
Yeah, he's KD, I think.
So he's part of the KD set. So you may think, oh, it's a smart time right now to sell because his utility is this next 24-day window. But if he's needed in the LeBron set, he's also going to have utility beyond this 24-day window. And you might see his price decline right after the set expires for Kevin Durant and then go right back up because LeBron, every moment of his is coveted. I'm sure the set reward is going to be more coveted than his like fifth series two moment. So I would expect his price to be fairly high. And because of that, those moments to rise and the rising tide, what's it? The rising tide floats all boats or some bullshit. What I'm saying is the market can't be down this bad for this long. And I think the fact that now there is kind of a base level to the market with these Fred Van Vliets and these probably Glenn Robinsons when he comes out, all these guys that, 35,000 plus CC that nobody really cares about. I think that's a nice baseline for the market. Whereas a few weeks ago, Series Ones were sitting around $150 for like guys like Luke Cornett, and Series Two guys were bottoming out at $25 to $30. I think it's nice that there's actually gonna be some tiers in the market where new adopters can actually come in, put in $50 and play the lower end tier, and hopefully they skyrocket. So I think although the market's in a terrible spot right now, and maybe it's me being too optimistic, I think we're in for better days. And if you were to sell right now, I personally wouldn't just sell to hold on it and think that the market's going to keep tanking because from what I've seen, when those $1,000 packs dropped, a month ago, the market was in a very similar spot. And the people that sold and held and thought that that money that they got the proceeds on when they sold would help them to reinvest at lower prices, they kind of got chewed out because the market bounced right back and then they couldn't afford what they were holding out for. So if you were to sell right now, I mean, I would personally, this isn't financial advice, I'd go in on those this cheap Series 1 guys and hold them for the long run because as we mentioned, right, there's over 400,000 users now. A lot of those Series 1 first moments are 39.99 LE. So for every 1,000 users, there's one of those moments. And as the platform keeps growing, more and more scarcity. And guys like even like Joe Harris on big name teams, if they make it in the playoff push, one out of 1,000 people, by that time might be one out of 2,000 people or something like that. It's a very scarce player for a player that people want. It's probably a pretty cool moment too to own a guy who's going to win the NBA title.
Back to what you were saying earlier, I think a lot of people too that got on for the first time and got their first packs this weekend with the 3 different drops. Just as soon as the marketplace opened back up last night, and it went under maintenance again this morning. But a lot of people just go in, like you said, undercut prices. So I think that kind of speaks to, at least for like guys in the seeing stars moments.
We saw it too, right? There was a Steph Curry. They shut down the market after somebody had listed something, and you could see there was a Steph Curry for $50, and then everything else was like 800. Obviously, it was probably a mistake, but maybe they were listing for $500. They forgot a zero. People undercutting for $400 just to make that quick buck. Or like a Paul George, I saw him listed around like $70 or something like that when he's going for like 180. And then even though it's listed super low and he gets snatched up quick, people then continue to go lower and lower until it eventually reaches the floor of that 70. When in the long run, I mean, we talked about, right? It's a 10,000 LE. His 39.99 LE goes for, at least the last time I checked, like 600. So it's 2.5 times more scarce, but it's 6 times the price. That just doesn't work out in the long run. I guess it's series two and it will get the badge for the series one. But even then, 6 times the price for a moment that's 2.5 times as scarce. The math just doesn't seem to work out. The price discrepancies are more indicative of people undercutting than the true value that lies in those cards.
Yeah, I know like Paul George specifically. That's who I got for my Seeing Stars guy. I was looking at his price yesterday or last night when the market opened up for the first time following the last pack release, and he went, I think, from around 180 to now right around 120. So that
Mhm.
just goes to show the amount of undercutting that's happening. And you touched on it earlier, but the value that I think the card will have, whether it's included in just, the KD set or the LeBron set, just holding onto it is worth it. It's not like most people can withdraw right now anyway. So again, this isn't financial advice or anything, but we would say probably your best bet is to hold for now.
Yeah, and the other thing as well too is with the gift set, it was 8,888 for the population count. And the thing is a lot of people got those cards, right? 8,888 times. I think it was 6 different moments. People got them for free also. Like I got one, I didn't have to pay for it. And the market got flooded right away. I sold it for $65 because I'm like, okay, so many people have this and it's a Derrick Rose moment. Sure, Derrick Rose is a pretty coveted guy, but if everybody has the moment, is it really worth anything? Sold for 65. I think Mike got a Donovan Mitchell. He sold for like 75. A week later, when the set was still active, my moment was like 350. Donovan Mitchell was like 450. It's very similar to this. People don't see the long run potential of a moment because there's 210,000 packs being dropped and there's 10,000 population for what 21 guys. So people think that the market can only go down because it's so flooded. When in reality, people are in the market to get the set rewards, and for the set rewards, you need those cards. So it has more utility than just the moment itself. That's why also not financial advice, but if you did pull a Paul George and it was serial number like 48, right? It has nothing to do with him. He's not number 48. It's just a low serial and it goes for a lot more than the baseline. Like you were saying, it goes for 120. Maybe his serial 48 goes for like $700. What I would personally do is sell it for 700 and then reinvest in like 5 Paul Georges at 120 and then use that money and hold them and hold them and hold them and then flip it in the long run for that profit because we've seen with every single set so far that the longer down the line, the more you wait, the more profit you make. The Cool Cat Luca was super cheap right out the gate. I got a Cool Cat pack. I sold my John Collins for I think like 140. A few weeks later, he's going for 300, and the set went from whatever, like just using random numbers, like $1,500 to like $3,000, just because people eventually start collecting these moments and they're like, okay, I can actually afford it, and then they also realize that in the long run, they get the set reward and they also get the pieces that went into the set as well, and they can sell those also. We also talked about how Luca was like $800 once this set expired, and then he went up to like 9 grand. So it's hard to be patient, and especially with what's happening now, like the people who are getting in now are not patient at all because they get in just for the packs, which is as fast money as you can make. So intrinsically, they're like, all right, I'm in here for the money. I get a pack. I'm going to flip it. I'm out. But in reality, the best way to make money from my experience is to be patient. But those who are joining now, the 200,000 people that joined in the past week and a half, are not patient, which is why that they are tanking the market. Like, sure, they're making 20x on their money, but you could wait a week and make 40x on a $14 pack. So I think that's kind of where the discrepancy lies is the new adopters are the ones that want to make fast money and they're kind of affecting everything for those other people who got in earlier that realize probably long run gains are the way to go. And especially like tax purposes, they probably can get fucked over when they realize that they have to pay all these short term capital gains or whatever these short term gains when they try to withdraw from their account. But that's a discussion for another day, I guess.
I agree with what you said, and I'm super excited for whenever the market does bounce back. I know, like that one weekend, I think I joined we talked about this on the last episode, but I joined on a Friday, I believe it was like a Friday afternoon, and the market legit just skyrocketed from there. And just being invested in like a few guys like Drew Holiday and a few other cheaper guys from like Series One and even a few Series Two that were LE'd. But yeah, it's super exciting. And obviously the lows are pretty low with it, but I think like you said, in time the market will bounce back, and it's just about being patient and being able to be a little bit risk averse. I said it earlier, but it's not like most people can withdraw right now. So yeah, our suggestion would be just to hold on to those guys and wait it out. And there could be, instead of 20xing your money, like you said, you could 40x it. So
Yeah, and the other thing I would say as well is a lot of people that are seeing the market tank are saying, "Oh, it's tanking because this is in beta. It's a fake app. There's no long-term longevity to this." There's no long-run longevity to this. Would there be 200,000 new adopters in a week? Would you have joined it if, like you wouldn't have gotten onto the app if you thought it was a dying thing and you only did it for the packs, right? Because a lot of people, the 400,000th person who joined probably won't be able to withdraw for like 2 years at the rate that they're going at. So they have to believe that there's some long run gain, or else they're not just going to throw $200 to a pack and think, there's potential I'm not going to get my money. And if I do, it's 2 years out, right? You kind of have to have that long term view as well. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think we'll see the market bounce back. And the other thing as well is, the Series 1 cards with the 39.99 serials, they aren't getting any less scarce. They're only getting more scarce as more people join. Cards are getting burned as these bot accounts are getting thrown out the fucking window. So there's actually probably less than 3,999 of all these guys. So keep that in mind as well when an account is banned or something happens to account, somebody forgets and gets freezed out of their account, they forget their password, whatever they had on their account is not put back into circulation. It's gone. And I think there's actually a Jalen Brown moment that I heard somewhere that is one of the rarest common moments because he was actually owned on a lot of accounts that ended up getting burned. And although his number might show like 1,500 for his population, might actually be in the triple digits, like actually 900 in circulation. So keep that in mind as well. I'm sure they'll be more open and more transparent with how many cards are actually in circulation rather than just showing what's on the serial number in itself. Do you have anything else for the market, or is that a good place to wrap up, you think?
yeah, no, I think that's a good thing. That's a good place. The only other thing I would say is too is you got to remember it's still in beta, so
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the figures might not be accurate as well because of it being in beta and them doing constant maintenance and collecting data and all that stuff. So I think it's one of those things where you just have to be patient, and the platform will be better in time.
Yeah, I just can't wait for the playoffs. Obviously, there's gonna be issues like we're seeing right now. There's definitely gonna be sets and definitely gonna be rewards around the playoffs. Having guys that made the playoffs be put into sets and getting set rewards for maybe championship teams and stuff like that. We'll get into it as the time comes along, but I think this is a good wrapping up spot. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down and let us know why. If you're new to the channel and you think you might want to stick around, hit that subscribe button. We got pack openings, we got market talk, but our baby, our coveted piece of content every week is actually just talking about the NBA because not many people are doing it. Not many people watch the NBA. We can kind of fill that void, give you some NBA talk, and hopefully fill you in on why the market's moving the way it is. Not only because people are undercutting, but because what's happening in the NBA, because the All-Star weekend's around, because the Jazz are the best team these two eyes have ever seen. Whatever the weather, we'll fill you in on what is happening in the NBA. So we'll see you guys. I think this is dropping Tuesday, so we'll probably see you guys, I think, Thursday or Friday on our next duo video. And that's it. Peace.
See, I'm back in this bitch. Counting racks in the chips, okay. Spend a stack on a whip, got the bag, then it flip. Pass to the bro like, hey, I gotta eat cause I'm hungry. I gotta count up the money. Henny got my tummy, but okay. Check out my ice, yeah, it's frozen.